Guys, how's it going? It's Al, week 15. Here are my top running backs on DraftKings for this week of NFL DFS. Now, I'm going to take a look at some of the 5-box running backs, as well as give you a couple of other plays that I think are in really good spots this week. It's a very interesting 10-game slate. I believe that we can take advantage of some value at the running back position. We can pay up to get guys who are in great matchups or give us a really high floor ceiling combination. A lot of ways that you can go this week. So thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
The Smiz Gang Listener League is posted for this week. It is 2,500 people, but Al, it was 3,500 people last week. Yes, the reason it's 2,500 people, and if you wanted to get in, go to smizzle.tv/links, because it's not in the lobby. It's the only way to get in is through my link tree at smizzle.tv/links. Anyway, the reason it's smaller is because I'm going to be in New Orleans this week and I'm leaving on Thursday. So the video schedule this week is going to be somewhat different. There's not going to be a cage match on Wednesday because I didn't know if I was going to have to leave on Wednesday or Thursday. There's not going to be a lineup builder show on Friday, at least not in the normal way with you guys being able to consume it on YouTube, and 5 Under 5 is going to be just put in Discord. So make sure you jump in Discord. All of those things are available in the link tree. Follow all my other socials. I may do the Friday show live on Instagram or live on TikTok. I have not yet decided which one, or if I'm going to be able to actually get it done from New Orleans. So the Listener League is up. It's 2,500 people. It's for the Sunday slate, not the Saturday slate. $10 to enter, 3 max. Absolutely no rake. Those are all of the announcements. So thank you for listening to them, and make sure that you get in the Listener League. I'll shout out the top 10 finishers on the recap video on the Al Smizzle Fantasy Football channel next week. Josh Jacobs, 23.2 points. There's a lot of question marks, okay? I have to record this video on Tuesday. So right now, I'm doing this under the assumption that the players that I'm mentioning are playing. So Josh Jacobs has a terrible matchup, but they are favored and they are at home here, and he does check off every other box. He's 8,100. He's averaging 23.2 DraftKings points. Now look, the Patriots are the best team in the league at defending the run. We've seen what a high volume running back can do though. So volume over everything. His efficiency may be lowered, but we had a game last night on Monday Night Football where we watched James Conner score a touchdown, put up enough points to be solid, especially with as much as he has to get used in the passing game. And Josh Jacobs has really been just that more often than not. Now this game against the Rams in week, he still got 29 opportunities. This 29 opportunities, 28 opportunities, 40 opportunities, 28 opportunities, 29 opportunities. Now he's dealt with calf injuries for 2 weeks. Now he's dealing with a injured pinky finger. Monitor the injury as the week goes on. Yes, it's a bad situation in terms of the defensive matchup from a defense versus player, DVP situation, but volume over everything, Josh Jacobs is going to get it in heaps. Alvin Kamara is the next play on the board. I don't know if there was that extra slide in there. Alvin Kamara, the next player on the board, 6,800 for him. Now, normally this season, Alvin Kamara has not topped that 20 opportunity mark that we're looking for, but he is now the main guy as Mark Ingram is on the shelf for the next month, so basically the rest of the season, which means, at least in my opinion, and I'm willing to be wrong on this, though I don't think I am, I believe that Alvin Kamara is going to see extended snaps and more expanded percentage of the running back touches for New Orleans in a game against Atlanta, where Atlanta is a really good matchup. They allow tons of trips to the red zone. Now, New Orleans, not a great offense. They don't operate very efficiently. But if they just get Alvin Kamara the volume that we need, let's say 14 carries, 8 targets, well over that 20 mark, right? We're looking at 22 is what I project him for. Targets are more valuable than the carries, and we've seen what his ceiling is, even on this bad offense. A massive multiple touchdown game is certainly still in his locker, even on this offense. They do play at home. They do play against Atlanta. He is a cheaper option in a 5-box situation. Austin Eckler playing at home against Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't really allow a lot of rushing yards. They're a pass funnel offense, right? Or a pass funnel defense. They force you to throw the football. But like Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler gets thrown the ball. Like, this is what we want out of a running back. In fact, he's doing it better than any running back has done of all time. Now, look, they do have their passing options back on the outside, where they've been force feeding targets to Austin Eckler, because when your outside options are Josh Palmer and DeAndre Carter, you're just going to throw the ball to Austin Eckler more. Now, they may throw it less to him, or, in theory, but in a game with all of the weapons starting and finishing, you had a game against Miami this week where Austin Ekeler was there. Keenan Allen got 14 targets. Mike Williams had like 6 catches on 6 targets and had a tremendous game himself and looked really good doing it. All that does is open up the flats more for Austin Ekeler to not just log catches, but have more after the catch possibility, as they can't key on Austin Ekeler when there is a Keenan Allen roaming around soaking up double-digit targets. So there is going to be similar volume, but increased efficiency on that volume for Ekeler. But I don't expect him to be super efficient on the ground, but he will get those inside the 5 carries, still only playing and getting like 60% of the carries, but the carries aren't what we care about. You have to pay up to get him at 8,500, but the Chargers in Tennessee is one of the higher total games on the slate. Right now, I believe I have it at 47. Chargers favored by 2.5 in that one. Absolutely fantastic play. Another question mark here. Ramondre Stevenson left the game on Monday Night Football, and he is in a fantastic spot against, we're out of the 5-box spot. Now we're just into, here's the other really good running backs. Ramondre has been tremendous. The only game that he did not do well was this game last time, where he left the game early, but like 8 targets, 10 targets, 6 targets, 7 targets. Hopefully he is fine. There's nothing structurally wrong with the ankle or whatever. If Ramondre plays, he is one of the best plays on the slate at 7K. In a pace up spot against the Raiders, and also in an efficiency up spot against the Raiders defense, who is terrible at stopping like everything, but specifically running backs, and also more specifically running backs who catch passes. If we do not get Ramondre, it's going to be a mishmash. We saw Pierre Strong get 7 touches or opportunities in his absence. We saw Harris fill in with like 8 carries. We might get Damian Harris back. If we get Damian Harris back for that game with his thigh injury and Ramondre's out, then he will take over the lead role. I don't know what his usage in the passing game will be, and like, we're not getting Jade, but like, you're going to get a lot of Strong and Harris, or the other Harris, if Ramondre is not ready to go in this game. But I am preparing as though Ramondre is going to go in this game. We'll deal with that situation as injury reports come out for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday practices as the week moves along. Derrick Henry, we're just streaming running backs against the Chargers, right? Like, so, oh God, Derrick Henry might be washed up. He might not do well anymore. We can't play Derrick Henry. It's too much usage. He sucks against Denver. Green Bay has been some, like, this was the one spot. Like, Green Bay is a team that we have streamed running backs against, and he did have 25, even though he was somewhat inefficient on the ground with only 3.1 yards per carry, still had 25 DraftKings points. Oh no, Cincinnati's been pretty tough defensively recently. Oh no, Philadelphia, really tough defense. Is Derrick Henry bad now? No, he's not bad. He just didn't have a perfect matchup. And he got kind of game scripted out of these situations, playing from behind against Philly, Cincinnati, and Denver was a very good defense for like 2 months straight. He plays against Jacksonville, and even in a loss, 121, ripped off a 50-yarder, got 5 targets in that game, 25 points, and now he squares off against the Chargers, who I believe can stop roughly nobody when they're handed the football. So if you want to use Derrick Henry as a lead back, whether they're winning or whether they're losing, Derrick Henry is still going to get his volume as long as they're not losing 27-0. If this is a closely contested game, as it projects to be, as long as they're within 1 score at all times, Derrick Henry is going to get his 25 touches. The Chargers have been bad defensively at stopping running backs from being efficient when running the ball on the ground. They are not a good tackling team. They are not a good defensive team. So if this game does go over the total, which is, what did I say it was, like 47, if there's 51 total points in this game, a touchdown or multiple touchdowns definitely not out of the question for Derrick Henry this week against the Chargers. Miles Sanders has been outstanding. All you haters from last season can stand up right now and send your apology letters to One Eagles Way, because I don't know if that's the actual address, but Miles Sanders has been fantastic. And especially recently, when they get up big in these games, they just pound Miles Sanders, and he has been extremely efficient at ripping off long runs and getting 5 touchdowns on the ground the last couple weeks. He has not used all that much in the passing game. The fact that we got 8 targets the last 3 weeks is way better than we saw like the previous 5, where we got 3 targets over 5 weeks. So hopefully this kind of usage sustains, even though he's never been very solid in the passing game. He does, as weird as that seems, because like when he came out of college, it's like, well, you can't pound him, but you can throw him the football. He's not Saquon Barkley, but like you use him more in the passing game. He has not turned into that type of player, but he has been a very good running back, especially behind that offensive line and in this offense. And against Philadelphia, where I believe I have him as 9-point favorites this weekend, over the Bears, Chicago has not done a good job at stopping running backs as well. One of the 3, 4, 5 teams that we love to stream running backs against. He's still only 6,500. So it brings you a lot of value this week from a touchdown, upside, 100-yard run, volume plus in a situation. If they're playing from ahead, they're going to scheme to run more, even with the 2 or 3 other running backs that they have there, or 2 or 3 total running backs that they have there. I don't think that they're going to run Jalen Hurts as much if they don't have to. They'd rather give it to Sanders and Scott and Gainwell to let him run to preserve Jalen Hurts, especially if the game gets out of hand. They're not going to be calling design runs for Jalen Hurts. Tony Pollard's the interesting case this week, because at 7,100, his price has come way up. He's posted multiple 20-plus DraftKings point days, even with Ezekiel Elliott back. He outsnapped Ezekiel Elliott, but he has not seen 20 touches either of the last 2 weeks with Ezekiel Elliott there, though we did see increased usage in the passing game because they were playing from behind. This game could shoot out. Now, I do think that Tony Pollard's extreme ceiling is capped. His 35-plus point possibility is capped because he is not going to out-touch Ezekiel Elliott. I think that both are in play once again, and both could meet or exceed their 3x on their salary for cash games. But for tournaments, it's very tough to kind of target either one of them. But because of that, I think that people are playing them too much to target them in tournaments. We'll see when projections come out for percentages, because for me, it's a probability situation. If Ezekiel Elliott has a 10% chance of scoring, 30 DraftKings points, if I lost him, Rosie, I gotta go back. Edit. If Tony Pollard has a 10% chance of scoring you 30 plus DraftKings points, but Tony Pollard's going to be 20% played in tournaments, I think that there are other running backs that we can go to, much like last week when he said the same thing. If Ezekiel Elliott has a 20% chance of going 25 plus on DraftKings, it's much less likely that he's going to get that if him and Pollard are both healthy for a game, because they're splitting the time. If we removed one of them from the situation, way more chance of a 30 plus game, but people are going to play them because of the matchup against Jacksonville, because of how many touchdowns they score. Zeke in his last 4 games since coming back from injury has scored 5 touchdowns on the ground. So I believe that for cash games, both of them are in play, but for tournaments, I don't know if the ceiling possibility is there, specifically when looking at it from a percentage played probability of outcome situation. Isaiah Pacheco is going to round this off. How does this spell? This is Isaiah. This is not Isaiah. This is Isaiah. Last week, heads were turned with Jet McKinnon because Jet McKinnon had a 9-target game and had one of the goofiest passes of all time turn into like a 60-yard touchdown. But Isaiah Pacheco is still getting the majority of the snaps and still getting the most opportunities in this offense, albeit only on like 50-60% of snaps. But he has scored over 12.3 DraftKings points in every one of those games. Now they square off against Houston, which is a team that you want to attack on the ground. It is entirely possible that the Chiefs just score 27, 28 points like they did against Denver and get up to a big lead in this game. Houston showed some fight last week as massive underdogs to Dallas. If they get ahead, Isaiah Pacheco is going to run the ball. He runs very angry. He runs very violently. And I think that this is an opportunity for a multiple touchdown game at sub 6K for Isaiah Pacheco. I don't know if it's going to get there. I think that his percentage is going to be down in tournaments this week, but we'll find out as the week goes along, because I think that people are going to go pay for Jet McKinnon, who is lower priced than is Pacheco. So with McKinnon being at 5,200 and getting the 15 opportunities, this game here to me has James Cook written all over it. This was a Nyheim Hines big game, and it was, well, is Nyheim Hines taking snaps away from Jonathan Taylor? No, he just had a big game. He did not take more snaps. He just had a lot more efficiency, and they utilized him in the passing game an awful lot to dump things off to, because specifically Denver's a very good defense on the outside with Patrick Surtain and everything they can do with their linebackers. So you have to dump off to running backs more against them. I don't think that this is the week that you're going to have to do that. It's going to be very clean opportunities to Kelsey and Juju Smith-Schuster and anybody else going deep down the field, whether it's MVS doing his cardio. And I think that they're going to run the ball very often, very efficiently, and very effectively with Isaiah Pacheco. And I think that he could be similarly played or less played than Jet McKinnon coming off the game from last week. We'll see if that happens. Best of luck to you this week. Look for another video right there.
He's a legend.